He is here to tell us about the revenue campaign.
Hi everyone, great to see everyone here. I was told to be brief, so I actually can summarize what I'm going to say in 3 words. Tax the rich.
Yeah!
Okay, now I'll give you a slightly more detail. How many of you in the room fought against question 1, the income tax rollback a few years ago? Right? How many of you fought against question 3 just last year? A whole bunch of you. Wouldn't it be nice to fight for something?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're going to do. Finally, after many years, all of you arguing with your unions, your organizations, we now have a bill for raising revenues in a progressive manner to fund the kind of state that we want. Very exciting. It's called the Act to Invest in Our Communities, and it's the very brief thing is that in this state we do not have progressive taxation built into our Constitution. We are only one of 15 states like that. The rest of the world, the rest of the country has that. That means we have a flat tax rate. However, so Stan Rosenberg, our local state senator, is introducing a constitutional amendment to change that. That's great, but it's a longer process. What this coalition of our communities has come around to is this bill that can be passed with a simple vote of the legislature. And here's what it does. It raises the rate. Your current income tax rate is 5.3. It raises it to 5.95% where it used to be. But the key is it almost doubles the exemption of a certain amount of your income. So that means the effectiveness, and if you look on your back sheet of this, you can see what the effect of that is actually that people at the bottom end of the spectrum, that is, or sort of in the middle, at $60,000 and below, will actually get a tax cut because more of their income will not be taxable. And it means, you see that nice big bar on the right? That means the people who will be paying for this new tax rate are at the very upper end, the people who have not been sharing in the sacrifice. Okay? The second part of this bill is to raise the interest and dividend income. There's a different category for that. From 5.3 where it is now up to 8.95. Now I know everyone says, wait a minute, I have interest income too. You have nothing compared to what the rich people have, okay? Most people in this state who are paying interest and dividend income are the very end of the top end of the spectrum of income. It's actually the most progressive tax we have in this state because it's paid mainly by the wealthy. The combination of these two things in this act, you can see in the graph, it's a way of raising over $1.2 billion to help pay for the University of Massachusetts, to help pay for our parks, to prevent the kinds of cuts to social services that are threatened once again, and doing it in a way that asks just a little bit more of our very wealthiest citizens. This is a very, very wealthy state overall, on the very top end, and this is finally a way that we can all join together to get more progressive income taxes. The way to get involved, the very first thing is for every organization you belong to, your local Democratic committee, your whatever organization you might belong to, write to these people at the bottom or write to me and say, get your organization to endorse it. We want to have a list of 100, 200, 300 organizations that support this bill. And then we're going to try to bring what I'd like to encourage everyone to do, not just on the campus, but in their towns as well, is to host an event in which we explain this revenue legislation and explain what the cuts would be and also what it would mean to have real more progressive revenue. One of the reasons the problem is happening in Wisconsin, one of the threats that we're getting against collective bargaining and unions is because the right has engineered tax cuts all over the country and in the federal budget. So then you say, oh, there's no money. Well, Massachusetts has cut taxes more than any other state in the country over the past 20 years. All right, so don't think we're immune from this. We have jumped into that tax cutting fray, and then they say, well, there's no money. You'll hear this from every legislator. There's no money, so you guys are going to have to pay more for your health insurance if you're a local teacher or municipal employee. You're going to have to, at UMASS, students are going to have to pay a lot more. By hitting on progressive revenue, we finally can start to say, actually, there is money. The problem is it's in the pockets of the wealthy, and we're going to take some out. Thank you.
Yeah!